Hello and welcome to Side Note, real stories, real context, news, culture, and politics. I'm Brandon K, and I'm so glad that you stumbled upon our channel. Side Note is a brand new channel covering stories across news, culture, and politics, the moments people are talking about and the ones shaping what's happening right now. And last night was one of those nights. That's right, the 68th annual Grammy Awards took place in Los Angeles at the Crypto.com arena as usual. And for the final year, after 57 years, the telecast aired on CBS before it actually moves to streaming. It's going to be streaming going forward, and that's supposed to promise a more immersive digital experience, I suppose. It's a shift that underlines how music and television are evolving right now at this very moment. So let's talk about performances, because this year's show didn't just hand out trophies. It absolutely delivered. The show opened up with a bang. Bruno Mars set a high bar with his signature blend of showmanship and tight musicality, performing alongside Rose. I mean, it was the kind of performance that reminds you that he is one of the rare artists who can turn any Grammy stage into a legit concert. He actually performed twice. So big ups to Bruno Mars for holding the stage down last night. Let's talk about Sabrina Carpenter, who gave us one of the night's most memorable musical moments. She always has great performances. She's very creative, very artistic. When Sabrina hits the stage, she doesn't just sing, she commands. Her energy, it felt big, it was precise. It was the kind of performance that proves why she is one of the most exciting artists in pop right now. Even without walking away with the top category award, we'll get to that later, but she did on that stage. There was confidence and it produced results. Fans are definitely talking about that one. Let's talk about Justin Bieber. He brought a stripped back moment that still had people talking, part spectacle, part statement, and he gave the internet plenty to remix and debate. He was actually up for 4 Grammys last night for his hit album Swag. This is his first time, I believe, in a few years being at the Grammys. So he did his thing. Now let's talk about some of the headline wins. Kehlani, she won for Best R&B Performance for Folded. She looked great as per usual. Kehlani's win for Folded was one of the night's big moments in the R&B categories. It was a well-deserved win for a song that blends vulnerability with sonic depth. If you've listened closely to her catalog, you know her strength has always been emotional authenticity, and that's exactly what Folded brought to the table, which is why she walked away with that Grammy last night. So congrats to Kehlani. Also, Olivia Dean, she won Best New Artist. She's had an incredible year. This is a big one. She did it with a presence that feels both grounded and urgent. Her music has hit on emotion and authenticity in a way that resonates universally. And that recognition last night, it wasn't just a new artist win. It's a signal that she's becoming a voice that people actually listen to. So congrats to her, well deserved. Other major wins last night, of course, Kendrick Lamar picked up Record of the Year for Luther along with SZA. And he also snagged Best Rap Album, continuing a run that's now defining an era in hip hop. Billie Eilish and Phineas earned Song of the Year for Wildflower. That was a songwriting win that, like, it's not just about melody, it's about capturing a moment, and they did exactly that. Lady Gaga also took home Best Pop Vocal Album and Best Dance Pop Recording for Mayhem. That was a strong night for one of pop's most enduring artists. Let's talk about Bad Bunny. The biggest headline of the night belonged to Bad Bunny. His album took home Album of the Year, marking the first time in history that a Spanish language album has won the top prize at the Grammys. That's not just a marker for one audience. It's a sign of how global music tastes have shifted and how the Grammys are finally catching up with what's really working right now musically. And it definitely worked for Bad Bunny last night. And also, let's talk about the tributes. Reba McEntire performed last night, making her first time ever performing on the Grammy stage after a career spanning decades. Seeing her grace that platform was one of those full circle music moments, especially for her career. Now, one of the most talked about moments of the night, the entire ceremony, was the tribute segment led by none other than Miss Lauryn Hill. This wasn't your typical perform one song and exit tribute as they play the memoriam behind you. No, this was an all-star assembly of voices. I mean, Lauryn brought out everybody. Lucky Day, Raphael Sadiq, Anthony Hamilton, Leon Thomas, Bilal, Jon Batiste, Layla Hathaway in October London, John Legend, and Chaka Khan. I mean, it was an homage to artists that we lost and artists who shaped entire generations. Among the highlights was also that Fugees reunion. Wyclef and Lauryn Hill graced the Grammy stage together. We haven't seen this in a very long time. It was a moment that brought back not just the sound, but the feeling of a group that actually defined a period in music history. Seeing Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, and all the others take on that stage performing together, it wasn't just nostalgia. It was a reminder of how deep some of these musical connections run and how the legacy of great artists continues to influence what we hear today. That tribute segment was a reminder that the Grammys aren't just about trophies. They're about honoring legacy, community, and the threads that weave together through decades of music. They did their thing. They celebrated D'Angelo, sung some of the biggest hits in R&B, and that was definitely a moment to remember. Now, of course, no awards show is complete without debate. A few names that were heavily discussed leading into last night didn't leave with the hardware that people expected, which of course opened up the internet. But here's the thing. Sometimes these moments aren't about who didn't win as much as they are about who got elevated by even being in the conversation at all. We talked about Sabrina Carpenter, for example. That performance alone gave her a moment that will resonate longer than any single trophy might have. She got snubbed on multiple awards, but she still had a great year. She had a great night. Every year, we do see these surprises, both in who wins and who doesn't. That's part of what keeps the conversation going. So basically, that's the recap of the 2026 Grammys. There was also a lot of conversation in there, a lot of, political statements were made in some of those acceptance speeches. Those things are always expected at any award show, but nevertheless, there were historic wins, standout performances, and emotional tributes, and a night that's already has the culture buzzing. Now, if you were watching, what was the highlight of the night for you? Who gave the performance you can't stop thinking about? And who do you think is walking away with momentum going into 2026? Drop a comment. Let's get into it. Thank you for watching Side Note. If you do want more coverage like this, deeper looks at culture, news, and the moments everyone's talking about, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if this recap added something to your day, go ahead and share it. Let someone else join the conversation, and we'll see you next time.